Hey, wonderful, wonderful, lovely people. A pleasant afternoon to you. It's such an unfortunate situation with that 27-year-old former NFL young fellow that got rid of 4 people in New York yesterday sometime, because of some CTE disease, some brain disease that, how I'm reading it, it seems as if he is supposed to get it resolved via the NFL, and they may not have done that. Maybe they didn't pay over monies that would have been owed to him or should have been given to him, based on how the article is read. That is how I'm deducing it, when I'm reading it. And it brought me back to a moment when a particular business family, I don't know if it was both the husband and the wife or just one of the two, was killed, by a former employee who felt that injustice and unfairness was the order of the day. I don't know if he was not remunerated in the way he was. Sources tell me that some money should have been paid over to a particular entity, and he thought that it was done for him to go and do his business, and it was not. And, he just got very angry. There is a saying in Jamaica that says, do not box bread out of people's mouth, especially if they have worked for it and you find ways of shafting them. And let me tell you something, that's a real situation in places of employment. You know what I mean? NFL would be considered a place of employment. It may not be the regular 9 to 5, And if he has a problem and cannot get money, knowing that he gave of himself, he gave of his time, gave of his energy, gave of his service, and an unjust situation where monies are not paid over so that he can be dealt with comprehensively, because I guess with those games, it's a contact sport and anything can go awry, which it did, and him not getting the monies to deal with it becomes very problematic and will cause a man of sound mind to go unsound and to do unsound things in which was done. I'm assuming it said that he had shot himself. I don't know if he's alive or he's not. I'm thinking that maybe he's not. And 4 other people, unfortunately, went along with him off the planet. Condolences are certainly extended to the entire family, even his family, because that must be very traumatic, horrendous, heart-wrenching. It is unbelievable. It is very much unbelievable. It is very much unbelievable. But my advice to a number of places, you see, if people come and work for you and something goes awry, deal with them equitably. Don't treat them like a common criminal. Don't treat them like a piece of lint or a bottle cap or just a little mangy dog about the place. I remember some years ago, it came out in both the Gleaner and the Observer back to back, where it says 40% or 50%, one of the two, of people in our country are suffering from some mental disorder. Never forgotten it. And it came back again in fairly recent times. There are people in clean clothes who are troubled mentally, emotionally, psychologically because of finances and other maybe hereditary diseases, emotional problems, mental troubles, and so on. And when they give of themselves, they give of their best, their work, their expertise and knowledge, and you don't remunerate them, especially if the money is a lot, some of them will come at you. You have to be very careful. Do not box bread out of people's mouth. Do not do it. Do not do it. It is a horrible thing. I remember a friend of mine was sharing with me when he said he was, he was looking for overtime for something, and people erased his name, removed his name so that he would not get overtime. And I said to him, I can identify with that. I know that feeling, and it's horrible. You feel so angered. You feel incensed. And it's only because we're a law-abiding citizen, that we won't engage in certain things, because we follow the laws of God first and foremost, and the just laws of man. hurtful situation. Not everybody is going to deal with it lawfully and ethically. So, places of employment, be very careful, be very watchful. You know, because not everyone is of a sound mind and will deal with things soundly. You know, I'm not saying it in a joking way. I'm saying it seriously, because I never forgot when that newspaper came out and said it. And if back then it was such a high percentage, it's basically saying that it's half the populace. It means it would have increased, because that times are difficult now. Times are even more difficult. Sad situation. Sad because he was just 27. You know? And if he has a brain problem, maybe that contributed to him doing it, because he was obviously not thinking. You know, because somebody who is a well-thinking, very self-controlled human being would say it's not worth it. Let God take care of it. God says vengeance is mine. I will repay. Beautiful people, I leave things to God, you know. Not me, not take not one vengeance in my hands, because I watch God deal with everybody who has done me wrong. And he's going to have some that is in his back pocket that he's going to deal with. If you read the Old Testament, it is plagued. I shouldn't say plagued. It is filled with, God said, you think that what you have done to good people I have forgotten? And I'm paraphrasing. This is something that I read for myself in fairly recent times. You think, it's like almost back to back I saw it. You think that I have forgotten what you have done to good people? Woe be unto the people who charge people more than what they should charge them for goods and services. Yes, it's even you. Gotta go beat someone. No? Woe be unto the people who have done evil to good people. I have not forgotten. Miss, yes, when I read it, I shudder. Because the very same Bible says it is a dreadful, some version says it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of God. And oftentimes when you see some people get some debilitating terminal illnesses, and not care where them do the money they spend, they suffer gravely and they die badly. Check what they did to people. I'm telling you, you think it is a joke? Hey, you think it's because of whatever they ate? You think it is that? Go and look back at the first command. God, have you noticed what God was very strident and fervent and focused us as to why he puts the commandments in the way that they put it. And we dig up the ones them way down at the bottom and try to make them to seem to be the top one. And the main one is, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind, with all of your strength. Do not put any other gods above him. And love your neighbor as yourself. Treat people the way you want to be treated. You will grieve the Holy Spirit. You will grieve God when you treat people badly. I am telling you, God will, not maybe, he will hold you accountable. And let me tell you, I've often said this, when the devil attacks you, you can run to God. But when God attacks you, who are you going to run to? When he's a creator and everyone else and everything else are created beings and created things. Who are you going to run to? Who? And he says, especially if people are God's people who are really good and decent and doing God's work, and you go fast with them, you go and mess with them, may he help you, because your fate is not going to be beautiful. It is not. I am not. That I know I'm not asking. I've seen it several times. So you have some employers who are evil and wicked and treat their employees like dung, and they have no mercy. And if they feel that you're not of importance or you're not significant or they don't like you, they find ways of shafting you and abusing you financially. You think abuse is only verbal, and they abuse you psychologically, they abuse you verbally too, and they abuse you financially by shafting you, preventing you from getting overtime. But if they know that you can do something to earn extra money and it is under their power for you to get that, they hold back or take things that should be given to the staff for themselves out of greed and selfishness. You better believe that God has his leather belt ready and waiting for you, because you're going to get some proper beating out of it. Do not treat employees bad. And maybe that's, sad that the guy did all of that. Very sad, and sad that lives were lost. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions. Thank you.